Hello and welcome to In Focus. My name is Lisette Perez. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to act on stage? How about volunteer? This episode is all about the brave souls who put themselves out there and dare to strike out into the unknown. From the Peoria Sports Complex Diamond Club volunteers to the artists pursuing the stage at TheaterWorks, these are the people in our community who are trying to make the world a better place. That is why we've decided to tell their stories in focus. The Peoria Sports Complex is well known for being the spring training home to the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres. But did you know that they also feature another team? They call themselves the Red Shirts. Here's Joey McNichols with more.
First established in 1993, the Peoria Diamond Club continues to build upon the foundation it once helped lay. This nonprofit organization has over 600 volunteers, in which close to 125 volunteers work per game. Volunteers work to help and assist each fan's experience, ranging from a variety of tasks such as passing out bulletins and flyers to receiving tickets and directing the fans where they would like to go. As volunteer coordinator, Tommy Hoppin helps organize all of the volunteers in the events they assist with.
The volunteers that work for the Peoria Diamond Club get great satisfaction out of using their volunteer time for the compensation that is given out to the people in the community. Many of the volunteers have been here from the beginning of the Peoria Diamond Club, which has been here over 20 years. It just gives us great satisfaction to know that we're able to give back to the community in such a positive way and in helping small organizations achieve their goals, and it's a great way to give back to the community.
The Peoria Diamond Club plays a role that goes beyond the diamond as it gives generated revenues back to its community, impacting thousands around the local area.
Just as the Red Shirts love performing the roles out in public, so do our local actors on stage at TheaterWorks. That's a good segue, right? But unlike volunteers, actors have to undergo an auditioning process that could be quite scary. Here's Cameron Striplin with more.
When it comes to acting, ambition, dedication, and talent are all well and good. But ultimately, the gatekeeper between aspiring to be on stage and actually being on one is the audition. Would-be actors and experienced thespians alike look to TheaterWorks to find their way into the spotlight, and although not many will be cast, the only way to do so is to take that first step. The latest production from TheaterWorks, the musical Sunday in the Park with George, has already gone through the auditioning process and found its brave talent. Philip Fazio, the director of the musical, has worked with the actors from the audition process to the final performance to bring the story to life.
So for our production of Sunday in the Park with George here at TheaterWorks, we had 2 days of auditions. I believe we saw about 80 people over those 2 days. After that, we took a few days to go over some notes. The musical director and I compared our notes that we took and stuff. And out of those 80 people we called back, I would say about 40 people. We did 2 full days of callbacks. Out of those 40 people that we called back, we ended up with a cast of 15 that we have right now. So we started with 80, and throughout the process it got whittled down to 15. So today we are doing our second dress rehearsal. Dress rehearsal is when you do a run-through of the show in costumes with all of the technical elements, such as lighting, sound design, all of that good stuff. So this is our second dress rehearsal tonight. It's also the first rehearsal that we have our live orchestra at, which is very exciting. We have 11 pieces in the orchestra. They're doing the original orchestrations that were done in the first Broadway production. So our audiences here at TheaterWorks get to actually hear basically the same music that the audiences on Broadway heard when the show premiered in 1984. So it's very exciting.
Joseph Paul Cavazos, who plays both the boatman and Charles Redmond, has been familiar with theater and theater works from a young age.
When I was younger, I was very much so a TV kid. I watched a lot of TV, and I remember watching Saturday Night Live and seeing specifically John Belushi was my biggest idol. And I always knew that I wanted to be in comedy or something. And then when I was about 11 or 12, my therapist actually told my mother that it would be a good idea that I got into an extracurricular of some sort. You know, he's very loud and talkative, get him in something like it. So I auditioned for Night of the Living Dead here at TheaterWorks, and yeah, I've been doing it ever since. This was my first major audition for me. I did a Broadway intensive over the summer in New York City, and that's very, you know, heightened nerves and stuff. So when I got back here, it was like, okay, it's time to take everything I got and put it into this. And it was a little different than most auditions. I felt very welcome, you know, when you go in there, and it's nice, you know, I saw Philip and Steve and them all smiling and very happy to take people, and it was great. But I mean, with any audition, I really don't remember what happens much. It goes by like a blur. You know, it's just it's such a weird sense of just going in there, knocking it out and going out, and you feel like you're holding your breath the entire time.
Marissa Cordova plays the parts of Frida and Elaine and takes to the roles with particular enthusiasm.
So I've been kind of in performance, the arts, my whole entire life. From when I was very little, I would dance on my kitchen table or dance on like the picnic table, just like, look, I'm performing. So I've always been performing my whole entire life. I started out as a dancer. I danced for my whole childhood until I got hurt. I got injured, so I can't really dance anymore. So this is kind of like an alternative to dancing, doing musicals and theater, because it's not as rigorous. But I've always known that I wanted to perform in front of people. Always, always, always. I think I have to calm myself down, especially like one of the first performances, because I get really high energy. And I'm a really high energy person myself, so I have to really try to ground myself and really get like kind of calm, because I get really shaky and I'm like, oh my God. So I think really like breathing, calming myself down, and just kind of getting into the physicality of my characters really help, because I'm a very physical actor, so getting into the physicality of the character and really turning into like Frida or Elaine really helps me kind of go on stage and kind of be that character. But after you get on stage, there's no problems. It's just smooth sailing from there.
Sunday in the Park with George closes March 5th, 2017. The production wouldn't be such a success if not for the actors and the bold move they made to step forward and audition.
Thanks, Cameron Crew, for that insightful look on what it's like to pursue the stage. You know, I've often thought about what it would be like to be a famous actor. Speaking of which, you can catch me on our awesome web series, DMA Diaries. I'm in it, so you know it's good. Thank you for watching this episode. We hope it may have inspired you to strike out into the unknown and break a leg. This has been In Focus. Peace and progress.